Setting up your Janome machine for free motion quilting can be pretty easy. Let me walk you through some of the key things that you'll need to do in order to get set up correctly. Because we have a wide range of machines, I'm going to show you a little bit about how to set up your machine with the Skyline S9 and with our 4300 QDC model. On the Skyline S9, you'll be able to lower your feed dogs by selecting the feed dog engage and disengage button that is on the S9 screen. With the QDC model and many of the models similar to this, you will actually find a lever on the back of the machine, and this little slide, if you slide it across, will lower your feed dogs in order for you to be able to free motion quilt on that machine. Now that we've got the feed dogs dropped on your machine, it's up to you to decide which foot you'd like to use for quilting. We have a variety of different feet that you can use, and depending on the machine that you have, will determine which types of feet are available. You can always go to janome.com and click on your machine on our product page, and it will give you a list of which feet are available for your machine. So that's a great resource to use. But let's talk about the feet a little bit. The first foot that a lot of people are familiar with is the darning foot, and that's this foot right here. And even though we call it a darning foot, most people will use it for quilting. It sits on the machine and then it hops up and down just as it goes along quilting, and it does have a wide opening here. This one is closed. We do have one that has an open toe as well, so the spots between these red lines here are open, and so depending on what you're doing and how you'd like to see what you're sewing, you can use the darning foot with the open or closed toe. Some of the other feet that we have are this Echo Quilting foot, and this Echo Quilting foot will actually attach to your machine on the regular ankle, just like you would any other regular foot for the machine, and then you can quilt with it. People like this one because you can use the red markings on here to stitch around. If you have an outline, say a circle or an applique shape, you can keep the shape and equidistant around as you go and quilt it. The other great thing about this is that it has a little bit of a rounded edge on it. And this rounded edge allows you, if you've got a lot of seams and bulk in some of the places on your quilt, it kind of will help you move up and down and transition between those. This foot right here is a smaller foot that you'd still attach with your A foot. And it is just a small, clear, open toe foot, and you can utilize that to quilt with. And then my favorite foot is our Convertible free motion foot. And this foot, you may think it looks very similar to the darning foot, which it does. However, unlike the darning foot, this Convertible free motion foot does not hop up and down when you are quilting with it, which is awesome. I think that you feel like you have a lot more control over your quilting when it's staying stationary and it's just your quilt moving underneath your sewing needle versus the foot hopping up and down as well as the needle moving up and down. You can also, with the screw right here, the thumb screw, once you have this on your machine and your quilt underneath the foot, you can adjust how high the foot is. So if you're using a very lofty batting versus a very thin batting, you can adjust that so that this stationary foot doesn't get caught on any of your seams, which I love that feature. The other thing, the reason why we call it the Convertible free motion foot is that this foot right here along the bottom can be switched out. Right now, I have the open toe foot on here, but you can take off this part right here and attach a closed toe if you would prefer to use the closed toe. We do also have, you probably remember this from the other this one right here that you can attach regularly. This one will actually go on your convertible free motion foot, and it's that echo quilting foot designed for this as well. And then for some of our machines, we also have the ruler work foot, and this ruler work foot will let you use the quilting rulers and templates to get those beautiful quilt designs by using the rulers, and it has this thicker edge on it that will align with the edge of the ruler as you're free motion quilting. So I would say if you have several of these, give them all a chance. Take a couple pieces of scrap fabric and scrap batting and just get a feel for how they all work differently. You'll probably find that you like one or two more than some of the others, and it just depends on how you like to quilt and what type of project you're working on. So give these a shot, and you can free motion quilt on any of our Janome machines.